Stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs. If you had it back there and you're looking for a smile, bringing hope and joy for a day that was wild. Stuff from the cuffs is here to make things bright. In a world so dark, they're bringing some light. Stuff from the cuffs. Stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs. Go Bria, go Bill, go Bess, go Brian. Stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Stuff from the Cuffs, where we give you fire, we give you fun,
inspirational,
we're real,
and we give you some education as well.
Yeah, so it's another beautiful day at the pool. So this is our official pool recording spots, I guess. And today we're talking about, what are we talking about, babe?
Workplace romance.
Hey.
Should you do it? Should you not do it? What are some of the pros? What are some of the cons? And yeah, if you hear the noise in the background, that is the result, or those are the results of some workplace romances right here. Yeah.
So for those of you who know us, and for those who have been following our story on this channel, of course, welcome to all our new subscribers, to our returning residents or tenants, the Cufflinks family. Thank you guys so very much for being a part of our YouTube journey. We appreciate you as part of the Cufflinks family. Yeah, thank you so much. So we have shared before that we met at work. We met at Love 101 FM. We found love at love, and we dated for 4 years before we got married. Worked together another year and some months. And then we didn't work together for 3 years, and then we're back working together now. So in total, we've worked together 8 out of the 10 years, 11 years. 8 out of the 11 years that we've been in the workforce. So one of the questions that especially our students are always asking, they want to hear the whole shebang, the whole story, is how do you guys work together and maintain a relationship? So we have two sides to it. We have the dating phase and we have being married and working together. So we've kind of dubbed this episode Workplace Romance. Is it advisable? Can it work? Has it worked for us? Is it still working after so many years? Is it still working, boo? Start with, all right, start with, for, oh, your son, sir? Huh? Okay.
When you put it in context, 8 years?
Yeah, we've worked together for
8 years, are you?
It's been more of that of me.
At work?
Just to say. Anyways, so, first of all, guys, so...
Guys, if you see us, alright, we'll try to look straight here, but we have to win, we have to give an eye every now and then. But alright, let's go.
Alright, so first of all, let's just say that not all workplaces condone, and I'll say condone, not all workplaces condone or allow
or support
the fraternization in the workplace. Not all workplaces will, if they find out, will allow both of you to stay there. So
first thing is to find out what your HR policy is, find out what your organization says about it before you even venture down that path, because you may start venturing down that path and then you buck up on that, and you're going to cause problems. So first thing first, find out your HR policy. If there's no rule about it, or there's no principle that says, boy, we don't support it, then you get the go ahead. But find out also if there's an unwritten rule, because sometimes it's not necessarily a rule that's written in paper or policy paper, but it may just be something that the organization does not encourage, does not want. So ask.
Yeah, and if it is that you realize that you're probably attracted to somebody at work and it's the workplace policy that, hey, we can't have this in the organization, then you have to make a decision. because it may cost your job. That's number one.
First thing first, guys, before we even go into the pros and the cons and all of those things, workplace romance. So one of the first things is that you may end up at some point in time, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, end up at some point in time having some form of a workplace romance. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a long and lasting relationship. It may be just some flirting. It may just be some, getting together, some beneficial relationships, as some people would put it. But you have to know that it's going to happen because of the saying that attachment breeds attraction. Yeah? So, let's start with our story. So, of course, backtrack quickly, just in a nutshell. Meet this girl, never too check for her. But as time goes on, you get to see the person. So this is what happens with workplace romances. You get to see people in them good state, sometimes them bad state, sometimes them not so good state, sometimes you get to see them angry, sad. You get to spend so much time with this person that you end up starting to grow feelings, right? These persons, you get ready for come, especially if it's in a corporate setting or whichever setting you are, persons get attired to a certain level. So some of the ladies then put on these nice suits, nice dresses, the high heels, smell nice, brush up here, makeup on fleek, just look good. Them come in the morning and say, hi, good morning. And you be like, morning. You as the man, you put on your suit or you put on your shirt and tie, or again, depending on where you work, you may just put on a t-shirt and a jeans, but you make sure put on a little extra because you're going to be seen, you're going to be interacting with people. You're going to be interacting with people of the opposite sex, so you want to put on a little extra. You put on a special cologne when you enter the office. Yeah, for me it was Axe.
Axe. I was just about to say Axe, the chocolate one.
Yeah.
Always, and even up to this day, anytime I smell it, it takes me all the way back to our earlier days.
Can't tell when last I use it though, but yeah, these things lead to developments of attraction. Sometimes. No, the development, the attraction may not develop further. But even if you just see the person and you like them, nice. Or she look good, or she shape good, or she smell good, or
she a good ass.
Yeah, whatever it is. Whatever it is, it happens. Especially if there are certain characteristics in the person that you like. So yeah, I see she and I really check for her and everything. But then over time, you become friends and you start saying, she look nice church girl, look good. She carry herself well. She love wear high heels. Guys, she used to love. She pride herself on some mad piece of shoes, right? And she just put herself well together. And when she comes in the morning, she has this winsome personality. Good morning, good morning everybody. And she's just so friendly. And over time, you realize that I look good. I have little thing about her. So you start develop little feelings.
And after that, when we decided that we were going to be together, some of the things that we had to keep in mind, first of all, we had to be sure that we were up for the task. Because even though our workplace had no problems with, in-house relationships, we had to be very careful because we worked in the same department and Brian was my supervisor at the time when I met him. And so we had to do certain things to ensure that we drew the line between our relationship outside of work and our work relationship. So a personal relationship and our work relationship. So we're going to share with you some tips that we used that if it's something that you're involved in or if it's something you're thinking about and if it's something that your organization supports, then these are some things that you can keep in mind. So I'll start. So first of all, number one, you really have to be at that level of maturity to know that, hey, the workplace is the workplace and your personal relationship is your personal relationship. So my advice and my tip number one, do not let your personal issues and your personal relationship drama, if you have any, spill over into the workplace and into your work relationship. Every relationship has its issues, its problems, but one of the things that we did, and I think we did it well, was to separate the two. So if anything, our personal relationship was the one that got affected because I'll go home and vex with him and I talk to him because of something that happened at work. But for the other way around, if we had personal issues, if we weren't talking or anything, once we stepped through those doors at love, all of that was put on the back burner because we had to ensure that we had a great working relationship. We worked closely together.
Man, they walk past like a boss.
We had to ensure that did not, or personal issues did not affect the quality of our work. We had to communicate regularly at work. So even if we did vex before we come to work, that vexation put on hold until we leave work, then we vex back again.
Yeah, guys, I mean, apart from maturity, there's I think I would consider to be professional respect. You respect your organization, you respect what it stands for, you respect the values and the principles of the organization, you respect yourself as a person, you respect what you are all about, and you know that, hey, what I am all about in a relationship should not conflict with the organization or cause the organization shame or problems. At the end of the day, you don't want it to be said that, hey, because you were there and she was there as the supervisor or whatever, the standard of work dropped, or the standard of work was leaning towards favoritism or bias, or the standard of work was, you know, you guys were inappropriate at work and you guys breached different things, and you know, you have to think about all of those things. And if you respect yourself and respect your organization, you're gonna put it first. So for us, because as the supervisor, I made sure to not be biased in any way. As a matter of fact, I was more biased towards the other people because
than me.
Yeah, but just like I was very hard on her because I didn't want it to be said that, boy, I wonder if because that is why. So again, we kept it private, and it goes back to this current age where people are wondering if they should host a significant other or they should do this or do that, and it's up to you. Here's what it is. If you decide to do that, you have to now understand what comes with it. If you put it out in the public, them say that I am monkey climb, the more I'm exposed. So if you put it out in the public, you're gonna become under more scrutiny. You're gonna be every action, everything may seem to be X, Y, or Z. So for me, I would have said to you guys, if you can keep it as private as possible, keep it as private as possible. No matter with the flirting in your work, your co-workers fully. No flirting, no gestures, no pass at each other, no physical touching.
Touch up.
No nothing. No say touch up. I mean, I say touch up, because touch up sound like something else. No touching, no hold hand, no hug, nothing like that. You keep it strictly professional, because your relationship is more than all of those physical things. I mean, would I message each other, email each other, WhatsApp, not WhatsApp, them time have BlackBerry Messenger, or text, but physicality was a no-no.
Yeah, it was a complete no-no because...
And it wasn't a turn off.
No, not at all. Because we worked together first before we got into a relationship. So for us, we knew the importance of ensuring that, one, as we said before, that we made the lines clear between our personal relationship and our work relationship. So that's one of the things that we did. Brian, as you said, he was very biased, especially towards other people, not towards me. He wanted to ensure that 10 years down the road, nobody can look back and say, oh, because of so-and-so. Right, so that's another thing that we did. Another thing.
Remember one time when you only kick off, guys, because there was something that was given, and Bass should have been, being the second in line, she thought it fit that she should have gotten it. Me never see it so, and me give it to somebody else, and problems, vex.
Yeah, I never chat to him. We spoke at work, but when I go home, I not chat to him. But still, we maintained our professional work relationship. Another thing, and this is something that I had to bite my tongue and do a lot of times. So when you're at work and say things aren't going in the favor of your significant other,
can't jump up and defend.
Listen, in my instance, when Brian was being treated unfairly, or when things happened and I think that Brian was in the right, and fairly so, not because we were together, but I think he was in the right and he was being wrongly accused and treated unfairly, and you know, it was just all against him. I could not, as the significant other, jump up and be like, "Oh, allow him," and you know, defend him in such a way that it was obvious that there was something more than the work relationship. When it came on to him being treated unfairly or whatever the case was, I had to ensure at all times that I looked at things objectively, and even if I felt like, boy, them shouldn't do that, or Brian is in the right, I had to keep my emotions in check. So that's another tip. You have to keep your emotions in check. But I did not want my personal feelings and my love for him to spill over into how I reacted to things. So keep your emotions in check. And that emotion being kept in check has to do with even between both of you. I had to come to a place where I understood that what he was doing was not an attack on me, or it wasn't because, oh, me no want nobody say nothing. But sometimes, really and truly, he was making the right decision.
All the time.
Sometimes
all the time.
He was really being fair about things, but because of my personal feelings and my emotions, I kind of felt like he could have cut me the slack a little bit some of the times, which he did not, by the way. So I had to keep my emotions in check. So that's another thing. Keep your emotions in check.
Trust me, if it ever goes sour, yeah. Anyway, so one of the things to also consider is the possible outcomes if you are together in the long run, and how it can affect you at work and also the company. What do I mean? Now, I remember there was somewhere else where we were both almost in line to work, and somebody pointed out that because of the policy, they don't support it, because if one person is sick, you're losing a household instead of you're losing a person.
Yeah.
What do I mean? Let's say somebody in the household is sick. If somebody in the household is sick and you are a doting wife or a doting husband, you're going to want to stay home and support that person. If it even requires it, then let's say you have to take leave when that person is on sick leave. So that is now two persons you're losing from one family in an organization. Worse if you're in the same department, worse if you are not in the same in crucial roles. I remember even when it came out to us taking leave after we just got married, you know, it had to be so strategic. We had to ensure that enough cover was there. I mean, it was a bit of a sore point for the organization, because understandably so, because of, especially if your department is short-staffed, that was really where the issue was. If your department is short-staffed, then they won't be able to cover or find cover for you. But if everything is fine numbers-wise and the organization can manage two persons losing in the department and the two roles can be effectively covered if the two of you are gone, whether sick leave or vacation or whatever, it can work. But you have to think about that, because imagine your wife or your husband at home and you want to take care of them and you can't do it because you have to do work, and at the same workplace, and work, you know, work just really comes first.
Yeah, and you have to keep that in mind. So you have to keep in mind that you may be faced with situations like this where you have to really make the sacrifice. On paper, yes, you have a right to your vacations, you have a right to your sick leave, but given the fact that you've chosen to be in a relationship with somebody at work, you may not be afforded that luxury because the organization cannot afford to have two persons out at the same time.
So it depends on the size toward the organization, because financially they may just not be able to pay two people or afford the losses that will come with two people being off at the same time, depending on the situation.
Yeah, so for the time when we were dating before we got married, when we actually got married, things didn't really change much. Even though everybody now knew that I was Mrs. Cup and he was my husband,
had to maintain
we still maintained the professional standard, and we still maintained the no physicals and all of that. We still maintain that. I think we were so used to it. We were so used to it.
Conditioned in our minds.
And conditioned in our minds. But it was a little easier.
I even recall one time it became a bit, the first time, probably like a touch or a hug or something, it became a little awkward. I have to say, I remember we said that word and I was like, oh, but we married now. You know, and we did it, if there was any physical touching, or if there was any sort of romantic inkling, it was still done in a professional way.
Yeah.
Meaning, not around anybody. Meaning, not in any way that would bring disrepute to the organization or to the couple, which is us, or to us. And also, it was done in I guess, sensible, rational ways. Like if I buy a lunch for her, I buy lunch and I carry come give her. Even if I rose up on the top or whatever, everybody knows that Mr. and Mrs. Cuff. But that's where it stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go home now. I say thank you.
Me never pick off the rose petal them and line no, yeah.
Yeah, and when we got married, it still wasn't more than a regular hug or something. If like he was leaving work, it was like a hug. If we were doing any sort of chuxing or anything, it wasn't around anybody, because obviously we don't want people to feel cute about it either. So we're very considerate of our co-workers, and things didn't change much. And one of the things that I was very proud of with us was at our wedding, and the bosses and those, higher above us, they said, boy, they really admired our level of professionalism, even through the dating process, because some of them could not tell. We had a particular co-worker who tried to set us up for the entire 4 years that we were together. And he was very close to us. So he didn't even know all this time he might try to set me up, and we were like, and he was very delighted when he found out. But he was like, 4 years now, me try setting up and all this time not together. So it was really a pat on our shoulder, especially when our boss said to us that, boy, Basilia and Brian, I really commend you both on the level of professionalism. And that's something that we have always maintained that we would do. And I think we did it and did it well.
And a plus to that is, guys, let's be real, we're human. Things may not always work out. It can get a lot more uncomfortable if everybody didn't know than if nobody knew. If nobody never know, then at the 2 hours alone, right. I want to deal with it, I want to keep on the emotions in check. But if everybody know, everybody see it, it'll get awkward for everybody when them around the 2 hours. It'll get awkward for the 2 hours, even for call to each other at work, or for respond to each other at work if you're a supervisor and employee or whatever the case is. So it does also help in that regard.
Yeah, it helps to keep it private.
So another thing that is important is that so this thing can actually be more beneficial than harmful. What do I mean? Both of us have been in media since 2009. Well, professionally, we've been in media since 2009. And because we both know what the work entails, we both know what production is all about, we both know what media entails, it helps. Because you have somebody who's understanding in the field, you have somebody who understands the rigors of the field, you have somebody who understands the timelines, the deadlines, the odd hours, so many things. So it does help in some regards. I mean, what do you have to say?
I loved it because we got to experience a lot of things together. Our first hurricane, our first election, during the incursion. I mean, we have so many experiences together. And
we are our own worst critiques. We're also able to be number one supporter and number one critic in a constructive way to say, hey, you should have done this better, or here's how I would have done this better, or how you could have done this better. So we're able to help each other in a meaningful way, and we're able to have discussions in a meaningful way. So when she come on with her jargons and whatever, I fully understand. When I come on with mine, she fully understands. And we're able to have communication, not just about intimate moments, not just about the sexual moments, but we're able to just have meaningful conversation about every topic.
Yeah, and it was great for us because we had really front row seats to each other's lives professionally and relationship-wise.
I can say I am the reason why she is the way she is now, because I supervised her and I built her career and I honed her skills.
Yes, babe. Go right ahead. Take all the credit, honey. You deserve it all. You deserve it. Hallelujah. Yeah, so that's another plus. And I absolutely loved having first row seats to his professional life because I could be there to cheer him on and to worry when I had to worry, and the whole works. And I remember our first hurricane when we had to stay all night at work. Oh, God, it was so nice. So nice, meaning, obviously, I'm like, okay, so I don't have to worry about him being at home in the hurry. He was right there with me. So
we never do nothing.
No.
Those who are saying, yeah, we're together and I get to sneak out and do this.
Other people were there. What are you talking about?
But you're not the car,
No, nothing like that. First of all, when we were taking naps during the night, we took naps in separate areas. So that's number one. Different shifts, the whole work. So it's not about any romantic nothing. Right, it was just about experiencing it together. I remember when Thomas was coming and we were ready for not a hurricane. Remember?
Get the
and we're
raincoat
ready.
and water boots.
And the whole works. And I make sandwich. And, you know, Brian nearly get blown away outside. And the whole works. So, I mean, it was exciting to work together. It still is. And it's just a matter of what works for you. In conclusion, we're saying that workplace romance can work. It just takes a lot of work and a lot of things that you need to think about before you venture down that road. It works for us, thankfully. It's still working because we are still working together, and I love it. I love it.
And again, as I said in an earlier video, them say absence makes the heart grow fonder, but presence strengthens it. So the more we're together, the stronger our bond is becoming, the more we are becoming one, is the more that it helps. I mean, let me put it this way, there are no moments where we feel like we are stifle each other, or we are crowd each other, or we're up in each other's space, or we are so surrounded by each other, we get tired of each other. No, we do understand what it takes to work in that environment. I guess, as you say, we have a whole heap of practice. So we know what space is, we know what boundaries are, we know still that we are individuals and we are accountable to each other, but we don't watch each other, so to speak.
Yeah, so it works for us, and it may not work for you because people are different. I know some people say that they could never work together and be in a relationship because, you know, they might get tired of the person, etc. So you know your reality, you know what you can deal with, you know what you're up to dealing with. We're just telling you some of the things that we had to consider when we went down that road during the dating phase, and what still applies now that we are married, have been married. I said to him the other day, babe, apart from being meant to be together, I think we were meant to work together. Yeah, and I love it. So if you have ever been in a situation like this, or it's something you are thinking about, yeah, we're just here to give you some info, because, you know, we're all about fire. Fun, inspirational, we're real, and we're educational. So thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode of Stuff from the Cuffs. We'll have another video for you soon. If it is that you are watching and you're not yet a subscriber, we welcome you to the Cufflinks family. Just click the subscribe button below and turn on your notifications so you know every time we drop a video. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Stuff from the Cuffs. Follow Brian at Valiant Cufflinks and me at Basilia B Cuff. Everything will be down in the description bar. We're happy to have you as part of the family. Thank you.
Big up on yourself. Tell somebody to tell somebody. Tell your cousins to tell your cousin, sister, uncle, auntie, brother. Yeah, just tell everybody. Big ups.
Later.
Stuff from the cuffs. Stuff from the cuffs. If you had it back